Everyone is pretty much familiar that 65 million years ago, a massive asteroid slammed into the planet and wiped out the dinosaurs. Many people, though, are less familiar with what animals survived and why. Crocodiles, for example, were able to survive because they ate a diverse diet and also are able to go quite a while with no food. Birds were able to survive too, since they eat many different foods, are small, and can easily travel. In today's episode, we will examine a giant bat-like cryptid named Ahool from Indonesia that is said to inhabit the dense, remote jungles of Java. It is thought by some that this cryptid might actually be a living dinosaur, more specifically, a pterosaur or something similar. Others believe this is an unknown bat not yet discovered. Regardless, as we will see, this is an interesting cryptid, and like others, is said to reside deep in the jungle. The island of Java is home to around half of Indonesia's population. With around 150 million residents, it is the world's most populated island. In the western part, though, lies the rainforest, very biodiverse and secluded. Here, it is said, Ahool resides. The legend of Ahool begins in 1925. Then, naturalist Dr. Ernest Bartels was exploring the jungles. According to his story, he was on a waterfall on the slopes of the Salak Mountains when a giant bat, much larger than any today, flew over his head. Stunned, Dr. Bartels saw something he had never seen before. 2 years later, around midnight, Dr. Bartels would encounter the Ahool again, and this time he was laying in bed. He was in his thatched house close in western Java. As Dr. Bartels was listening to the sounds of the jungle, he heard something strange. It was coming directly over his hut. The sound appeared to sound like Ahool. Excited and curious, Dr. Bartels ran outside with his torch and ran after the sound. Around 20 seconds later, he would hear it again and chase it, but it would disappear into the jungle. Much is not known about the Ahool, but is usually described as a large, bat-like monster with a monkey-like face. Some say it resembles more of a flying primate. It has large dark eyes, red-skinned wings, large claws, and is covered in gray fur. The Ahool is said to have a wingspan of around 18 to 30 feet and derives its name from the distinct cry. The animal is said to be extremely territorial, and allegedly it is known to mutilate people who come into its space. Many believe that the Ahool is a nocturnal creature, spending its days in caves, perhaps behind waterfalls, and it comes out at night and feeds on fish in the rivers. It should be pointed out there don't appear to be documented sources for this. Still, undocumented reports appear to exist with the creature appearing in different countries in the region, like the Philippines and Vietnam. There are several theories as to what this creature might be. The first is that it could be related to the legendary Kongomodo, a cryptid similar in description to Ahool, but located in Africa. Ivan Sanderson, a British zoologist, became very interested in Ahool after an encounter with Kongomodo in 1833. Anderson, after much research, concluded that Ahool was some type of unidentified bat. He piggybacked on Dr. Bartels' work. Another theory popular about this cryptid is that it was the flying dinosaur known as the pterosaur that survived. Still, large dinosaurs like pterosaur didn't survive the asteroid strike, and it's tough to imagine such a large bat or bird could have found ample food. A third theory is that Ahool is a primate that developed wings. This is one of the less popular theories, and it should be said, evolutionary speaking, doesn't make much sense. If this were the case, we should expect to find flying monkeys in other parts of the world. Nonetheless, some people have put it forward. The last theory, and perhaps most logical explanation, is that this could have been a flying fox or fruit bat. Flying foxes are known to have a 6-foot wingspan and are the largest known bats on planet Earth. Many feel this is the most logical explanation. While believers could say that this cryptid is undiscovered because it hides in caves all day and very few venture out in the jungle at night, the fact remains there has been only one documented sighting. Ahool is certainly a fascinating cryptid, but it seems more likely than not that this creature is more myth than reality. We must point out the sightings by Dr. Bartels were 2 at night, and it doesn't appear he got a great look at the creature either time. Still, it is probably the case Dr. Bartels didn't fabricate the story, and it was more of a case of mistaken identity. His second sighting, the creature was flying from a distance and at night. On a final note, it doesn't seem that there has been any modern day sightings as well.